Welcome back to page 121. I'm not going to be appearing on camera this week. I have another bout of our good friend COVID, so I won't be on camera. I'm just going to be doing some short videos, just so I can try to put out one a day while I still have a voice. So here we go, Traveler. This is coming out of the Core 2022 update, and it's going to be about NPCs as part of your crew. And I'm going to go ahead and jump to the Type A freighter, or the free trader. One of my favorite vessels in the game. I'm sorry, I'm going to go with the Far Trader, the Type A2 Far Trader. I love this vessel. And NPCs in your game. I consider myself very, very fortunate that in my campaign I have a total of 5 players plus myself. I want to state that at one point my entire D&D group had boiled down to myself and Craig. We had various people move away for jobs or marriage situation change, and for various reasons leave our group in the late 90s before the birth of my youngest son, and my eldest son was still not old enough to play. My wife wasn't playing at the time because she was taking care of our child while I played, so we ended up with me and Craig. So Craig and I would get together a couple of times a month, and we'd play something just to keep the flame alive. So we paid our dues as far as a group dwindling down. I've been very lucky to be able to keep a group as the size I have for as long as I have. But what does this have to do with NPCs in your game? Well, the fact that to run a Far Trader, you need a pilot, an astrogator, an engineer, a medic, and a steward. You need 5 positions filled. Now, the steward or the medic might not be the most exciting, but of course that could be somebody who just has medic 1 or steward 1. But the point is, if you have a smaller gaming group, or if you're playing solo traveler, you might not have the ability to fill those. So you might designate, if you were playing solo traveler, I have done it, you designate one as your own player, and it's usually the captain, so I would take the pilot, and then the others are NPCs. But in a more ordinary case, if it was just you and 2 other, yourself, and you had 2 players, the players would fill out, say, the pilot and the astrogator sections, and you'd have to fill the rest of the ship with NPCs. Well, that's not altogether a bad thing. NPCs do not necessarily mean that the GM has to run them. There have been many times when, for whatever reason, I've had a number of NPCs in a group, and I've handed NPCs to players and said, okay, he's still an NPC, he's not your player to play, your character to play, but I need you to monitor this guy. If there's a combat situation or whatever, you're going to roll for him. I am not. And that works quite well. The other thing I try to do when I hand out an NPC that's part of the crew is to give some good fleshed out background on the NPC. I don't roll a whole character for it. I will usually just steal something either from older Traveler products or maybe from current Traveler, but maybe an adventure like Death Station has quite a few NPCs in it, or any of the bigger box sets, the Pirates of Drinax, any of that kind of stuff, Deep Night Revelations. There are a lot of NPCs to be drawn from there. You simply just change the guy's name and bring him over to your ship and use him as an NPC. So I've done that many times to save time on developing my game. The important thing is they are people, and you have to remember that. So when it comes to things like divvying up spoils and such, they get a chunk, and they get an equal chunk unless a prior arrangement has been set up, and they're not stupid. They're not just there to be used and thrown away by the players. So I play my NPCs as professionals who want and deserve to be paid for their expertise. And they will only hire on if they are paid for it and if they're treated well. If they're treated poorly, they leave. So they become not ever player characters, but they become kind of player characters, especially recurring NPC. They will become important to you as the GM if you're the one running them, or to the player that's been assigned to kind of monitor them during the game. Now, other times what I will do is I will play the character in non-combat situations. So I'll play the non-player character when it's just business as usual aboard ship, and then just assign the NPC to somebody else for combat, so they can use the character and they can help me with the burden. Because as you know, GMing Traveler, combat is very thick very quick, and you have to be able to just kind of just take care of it. You can't be worrying about every NPC on their side plus your own guys. It gets to be too much. So I've split it that way as well. But the important thing even there is I don't let the players have the NPCs do something stupid that would get them killed, because they're just like the players, they're trying to stay alive. So the important thing to remember with NPCs is that NPCs are people too. I know there's a couple of t-shirts out there like that, and you have to treat them that way. So that's it. You meet many other NPCs throughout the course of Traveler Play. Maybe they're not in your crew. The only time that it's a little tricky, in my opinion, is when they are part of your crew. You have to pay a lot more attention and flesh them out a lot more. So that's all I've got for today on this shorter version of page 121. I want to thank you for your time, and hopefully next week I'll be back to full regular videos, but I'm losing my voice as it is, so I don't know. So that's it for today on page 121. Everybody be well, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.